The boss went to the maid's place to return her phone, and what he saw made his heart tremble. Michael Thompson held the forgotten phone of his housekeeper as he climbed the stairs of the building in Queens. She had worked in his home for 5 years and never missed a day. But that day, she left in such a hurry that she left the device in the kitchen. It was when he knocked on the door of apartment 203 that his life changed forever. The woman who opened the door wasn't exactly as he remembered. Her hair was different, shorter, and she looked thinner. But it was her eyes that made him take a step back. "Mr. Michael?" Grace's voice trembled slightly. "You forgot your phone, Grace. I thought I'd bring it myself since—" He stopped mid-sentence. Behind her, a child's voice called from the living room. "Mommy, who is it?" "It's no one, sweetheart. Keep watching your cartoon." But the child's curiosity was stronger. A girl of about 8 appeared at the door, moving in a pink wheelchair. What made Michael's heart nearly stop wasn't just the child's disability, it was her face. It was like looking at a photo of himself as a boy. "Hi, mister," the girl said with a sweet smile. "Are you Mommy's friend?" Grace tried to close the door quickly, but Michael had already wedged his foot in the gap. "Grace, we need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about, Mr. Michael. Thank you for the phone. That child, it's none of your business." Michael pushed the door more firmly, not aggressively but with determination. When he stepped into the small living room, it was as if the world had flipped upside down. On the wall, a simple framed photo showed him, 10 years younger, embracing a pregnant woman. The woman in the photo was radiant, her hands resting on her rounded belly. It was Grace, but with long blonde hair, nothing like the dark-haired, short-haired woman standing before him now. "My God," Michael whispered, the photo shaking in his hands. The girl looked curiously between the two adults, sensing the tension but not understanding it. "Mommy, why's the mister crying?" Grace knelt to her daughter's height. "Emma, go to your room for a little bit. Mommy needs to talk to the mister. But I want to finish my cartoon. You can watch it later, sweetheart. Please go." The girl obeyed, but not without one last curious glance at Michael. When they were finally alone, the silence between them was heavy as stone. "How long have you worked in my house, Grace?" 5 years, Mr. Michael." "And how long have you changed your look?" Grace lowered her eyes. "Since I started working for you." "Why?" "You know why." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, back to the story. Michael sank onto the simple living room couch. The truth was forming in his mind like puzzle pieces he didn't want to put together. "She's my daughter." It wasn't a question. It was a realization that left his lips like a painful sigh. "You don't have to say anything, Mr. Michael. I never asked you for anything, and I never will." "Grace." "Jennifer? What's your real name?" "Grace. I changed it when I came to New York City." Jennifer stayed in the past. Michael remembered perfectly. Jennifer Davis, the young woman he'd met on a business trip to Tampa. 3 intense months together, her pregnant, him running from responsibility, claiming he wasn't ready to be a father. He was only 25 at the time, convinced the whole world was against him. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Tell you what? That I am the woman you left pregnant? That I took the job in your house because I desperately needed money to take care of Emma?" Grace's voice was heavy with pain, but not anger. It was an old pain, already scarred over, but one that had never fully healed. "How did you get the job?" "I changed everything. My name, my hair color, even the way I spoke. I needed the money, Mr. Thompson. Emma was born with spina bifida. The treatments are expensive, the physical therapy, the equipment. I was working 3 different jobs when I heard you were looking for a housekeeper." Michael felt the weight of 10 years of absence crashing down on his shoulders. "You planned this." "I planned to survive. I planned to give my daughter a decent life. You were just a job opportunity." "Grace, You don't have to say anything." I never expected you to take responsibility as her father. I never expected you to care. I just wanted honest work." From the bedroom came the little girl's voice. "Mommy, can I come back to the living room?" "Just a minute, sweetheart." Michael looked around the small but spotless apartment. Every object seemed to tell a story of sacrifice and careful saving. The furniture was simple, but well kept. On the living room table were school books and a few adapted toys. "Does she go to school?" "Yes, she's a very bright girl, top of her class." "And her condition?" "She lives a normal life, Mr. Thompson. It's just a wheelchair, not the end of the world." Grace spoke with a calmness that was striking, but Michael noticed the exhaustion in her eyes. They were the eyes of a woman who had fought alone for years. "I want to take a paternity test." "You don't need to." "What do you mean, I don't need to?" Grace went to the bedroom and returned with a folder of documents. From it, she pulled out a sealed envelope. "I had the test done when she was born. I kept the results all these years." Michael's hands shook as he opened the envelope. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. The test date, 8 years ago. "Why did you keep this?" "I don't know. Maybe waiting for a day like today." Emma returned to the living room, maneuvering her chair with impressive skill for a child. "Uncle, are you staying for dinner? Mommy makes really good beef stew." Michael looked at the daughter he'd never known, feeling his heart shatter into pieces. "Emma, Uncle has to go now." "Oh, that's too bad. You seem nice, Uncle. What's your name?" "Michael." "Uncle Michael. I like it. Can you come back another day?" Michael glanced at Grace, who looked away. "Maybe, Emma." "Yay! Mummy, can Uncle Michael come to my birthday? It's next month." The innocent question created a moment of absolute tension between the adults. "We'll see, sweetheart. Uncle Michael is a very busy man." "Everyone's busy, Mummy, but birthdays are important." When Michael finally left the apartment, he felt as though he'd left a part of himself behind. In his car, still parked on the quiet street in Queens, he gripped the steering wheel tightly and cried for the first time in years. In the days that followed, Michael couldn't focus on anything. His business dealings felt meaningless compared to what he'd just discovered. During the meals Grace prepared, he watched her discreetly, searching for traces of the woman he'd known years ago. "Grace, we need to talk." It was a Friday afternoon. Sarah, his wife, had gone to the salon, as she did every week. "Yes, Mr. Thompson." "Stop calling me Mr. Thompson. You have a name." "I'm working." "No, right now we're what?" "Nothing's changed, Mr. Thompson. I'm still your housekeeper. You're still my employer." "I want to get to know Emma." Grace stopped wiping the dining table. "Why?" "Because she's my daughter." "Now she's your daughter? After 8 years?" "Grace, I was so young when... and I wasn't. I was 20 when I got pregnant. 20 when you told me I was trying to trap you with a pregnancy. 20 when I moved to New York City alone and pregnant." The pain in Grace's voice was palpable. Michael Thompson had never considered what she'd been through. "I want to make it right." "Make it right how? With money?" "With my presence. I want to be the father I should have been." "And your wife? What will she think when she finds out you have a child with the maid?" That was the question Michael feared. Sarah and he had been married for 6 years and had never been able to have children. She'd undergone countless treatments, failed attempts that left deep emotional scars on their relationship. "She doesn't have to know right now." "Oh, so I'll be your dirty little secret again?" "That's not it. It's exactly that. You want a clear conscience by visiting your daughter behind your wife's back. No, thank you." "Grace, please." "No. Emma doesn't need a part-time father. She needs stability. I can give her stability." "How? By showing up now and then? Bringing expensive gifts to make up for your absence?" "No, Mr. Thompson. Emma is fine as she is." The conversation was interrupted by Sarah's arrival. "Hi, honey. How was your day?" "Good," Michael answered automatically, but his eyes were still fixed on Grace, who had gone back to wiping the table as if nothing had happened. That night, Michael barely slept. The image of Emma asking if he'd come back stayed etched in his mind. She was his daughter, and he'd missed 8 years of her life. On Saturday morning, against all of Grace's warnings, Michael returned to the apartment in Queens. "Uncle Michael," Emma beamed when she saw him at the door. "You came back." "Hi, Emma. I brought something for you." It was a puzzle with large pieces, suitable for children with motor limitations. "Wow, Mom, look what Uncle Michael brought." Grace appeared from the kitchen with a displeased expression. "Mr. Thompson, what are you doing here?" "I came to visit Emma." "We didn't agree to this." "You don't want to agree to anything with me, so I decided to come on my own." Emma looked between the two adults, sensing something was wrong. "Are you two fighting?" "No, sweetheart." Grace forced a smile. "Uncle Michael just showed up unannounced." "But it's nice when people visit us. Grandma Margaret always says that." "Who's Grandma Margaret?" Michael asked. "My grandma. She lives up north where Mom was born. She visits me sometimes." Michael looked at Grace, who nodded in confirmation. "My mother. She knows about everything." "Can I sit with you?" Emma clapped. "Of course. Let's do the puzzle. I'm really good at it." For the next hour, Michael watched his daughter with fascination. Emma was bright, articulate, and had a strong personality. She talked about school, her friends, the books she loved. "Uncle Michael, do you have kids?" The question caught him off guard. "No, I don't." "That's too bad. You'd be a cool dad." Grace stood abruptly and went to the kitchen. Michael followed. "She doesn't know." "Of course she doesn't. What was I supposed to say? That her father left me when he found out I was pregnant?" "Grace, can you leave, please? You're confusing her. I want to be part of her life." "Then publicly admit she's your daughter. Tell your wife. Change your will. Give her your last name. Or leave us alone." Grace's ultimatum was clear. All or nothing. "I need time." "You've had 8 years of time." When Michael left the apartment that day, Emma called from the window. "Bye, Uncle Michael. Come back soon." The following week was torture for Michael. He watched Grace working in his home, knowing she returned every night to care for his daughter alone. Their daughter. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. On Wednesday, he made a decision. He waited for Sarah to leave for a doctor's appointment and called Grace for a serious talk. "I want you and Emma to move to a better place. I'll pay the rent." "No. Why not?" "Because I don't want to depend on you. I want to work and earn my own money." "Grace, I just want to help." "Really want to help? Then respect my independence." "What if I officially acknowledge paternity?" "That would be different. It'd be Emma's right, not your charity." "Fine, I'll do it. And your wife?" I'll tell her." "When?" "I don't know yet." Then nothing's changed. The conversation was interrupted by the phone. It was Emma's school. "Mrs. Grace, Emma isn't feeling well. Can you come pick her up?" Grace paled. "What happened?" "She fainted during gym class. She's awake now, but we think you should come." "I'm on my way." Michael saw the panic in Grace's eyes. "I'll take you." "You don't have to." "Grace, I'm a doctor. I can help." It was the first time she accepted his help without protest. At the school, they found Emma in the nurse's office, pale but alert. "Mom, Uncle Michael, I'm glad you came together." "I'm glad." "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" Michael asked, slipping naturally into doctor mode. "A little dizzy. I was playing outside and suddenly everything went dark." Michael discreetly examined her as they talked. He noticed she was paler than usual, her eyes slightly yellowed. "Grace, we need to take her to the hospital." "Why?" "She just fainted." "Trust me." At the hospital, tests revealed Emma had severe anemia, possibly linked to her neurological condition. "She'll need to stay a few days," the doctor explained. "We'll run more tests to find the cause." Grace collapsed. Michael held her shoulders. "She'll be okay. I promise." "How can you promise that?" "Because I'll do everything in my power." For the 3 days Emma was hospitalized, Michael never left. Grace tried to protest, but he was firm. "She's my daughter. My place is here." And your wife? Doesn't she wonder where you are? I told her I'm treating a critical patient. It's not a lie, Grace murmured. On the second day, while Emma slept, they talked like they hadn't in 10 years. Why didn't you reach out when she was born? For what? You made it clear you didn't want kids with me. I was immature. You were, but so was I. The difference is, I didn't have a choice. I had to grow up fast. You were brave. I had no option. What were the early years like? Grace sighed deeply. Hard. Very hard. Emma was premature. Spent almost 2 months in the NICU. I slept at the hospital, worked overnight cleaning offices to pay bills. When she finally came home, we found out she had spina bifida. And you faced it all alone. Not completely alone. My mother helped when she could, but she's retired, barely gets by. And my brother, he struggled too. Your brother? Robert. You never met him. He's 2 years younger. Back then, he was studying for civil service exams. Now he's a teacher in Tampa. Michael realized how little he knew about Grace's life, the family he'd left behind. Do they know about me? They do. My mother always said that one day you'd show up. I didn't believe her until the other day. What did you tell Emma about her father? The truth, adapted for a child. That Daddy lives far away, that he can't be with us right now, but that maybe one day they can meet. Has she asked for more details? Lately, yes. She's growing up and asking more complicated questions. There's a little friend at school whose parents are separated, and Emma wants to know why her father doesn't visit her like her friend's father does. Michael felt a stab in his chest. What do you tell her? That every family is different. That sometimes daddies and mommies can't stay together, but that doesn't mean they don't love their children. Did you say I love her? I said you haven't met her yet, but when you do, you'll love her very much. And if she asks why I haven't met her yet, then I'll have to tell the truth. That Daddy wasn't ready to be a father when she was born. Emma stirred in bed, slowly waking up. Mommy? Uncle Michael? We're here, sweetheart. Why do you look like you've been crying? We were talking about grown-up things, Grace explained. Sad things? A little. Don't be sad. I'm okay. The doctor said I'll be able to go home soon. Michael moved closer to the bed. Emma, can I ask you something? Sure. What do you want most for your birthday? She thought seriously. I want my daddy to come meet me. The silence that followed was deafening. Grace and Michael exchanged tense glances. Why do you want to meet your daddy? Because all my friends know their dads. And I'm curious. Is he tall like Uncle Michael? Does he like puzzles like me? Does he know how to make those pancakes Mommy makes on Sundays? Each innocent question from Emma was like an arrow to Michael's heart. What if your daddy is different from what you imagine? How so? What if he doesn't know how to make pancakes? What if he's, I don't know, shorter than you expected? Emma laughed. It doesn't matter, Uncle Michael. He's my daddy. I'll love him just the way he is. That night, after Emma fell asleep, Michael made a decision. Grace, I'm going to tell Sarah. Are you sure? Yes. Emma deserves to have a father in her life, and you deserve not to have to lie anymore. What if she doesn't accept it? Then we'll deal with the consequences. Michael, can I call you Michael? Of course. Are you sure you want this? Because if you start and then give up, it'll break Emma's heart. And I won't let anyone hurt my daughter. Our daughter. Our daughter. I'm sure. The next day, Emma was discharged. Michael insisted on driving them home and going up to the apartment to make sure she was settled in. Uncle Michael, can you have dinner with us tonight? Michael looked at Grace, who nodded almost imperceptibly. I can. It was the first meal they shared together as a family, even if Emma didn't know that's exactly what was happening. Mommy, can Uncle Michael be my godfather? Why do you want him to be your godfather? Because he's nice. And because a godfather is almost like a dad, right? Michael nearly choked on his food. Emma, a godfather is different from a dad. I know. But since I don't have a dad here, I think a godfather would be good. Grace quickly stepped in. Sweetheart, let's eat. We'll talk about this later. But Emma was determined. Uncle Michael, will you be my godfather? Michael looked at Grace, who subtly signaled for him not to answer yet. Emma, this is a very important decision. I need to talk to your mum first. Okay, but I really want it. After dinner, while Emma watched TV, Michael helped Grace wash the dishes. She's asking me to be her godfather. I heard. What do you think? I think she's missing a father figure. You came into her life suddenly, you're being affectionate, she's formed a bond. And that's bad? It could be if you disappear afterward. I already said I won't disappear. Then be her godfather. But no, it's not a joke. It's a responsibility. I know. Do you really? Being a godfather means being there for the important moments. It means being a role model for her. It means being the father I should have been from the start. Grace stopped washing the dishes and looked at him. Is that really what you want? Yes. Then it's fine. But first, sort out your situation at home. That night, Michael came home determined to tell Sarah everything. But when he found her crying in the living room, he knew something had happened. Sarah, what's wrong? I went to the doctor today. The latest tests. Michael, I'll never be able to have children. Michael sat beside his wife, feeling the weight of the irony. Sarah, 6 years trying, Michael. 6 years of hope, treatments, disappointments, and now this. We can adopt. It's not the same. I wanted to have your child, Michael. Our child. Michael hugged his wife, feeling like the worst man alive. How could he tell her right then that he already had a daughter? We'll get through this together. How? How do we get past the fact that I'll never give you a child? Sarah, having kids isn't the only thing that matters in a marriage. To me, it was. They held each other in silence for a long time. Michael knew he couldn't tell her about Emma that day, but he also knew each passing day made the truth harder. The next morning, Grace noticed he seemed off. Did something happen? Sarah found out yesterday she'll never have children. Grace stopped what she was doing. And you didn't tell her about Emma? How could I? She was devastated. Michael, the longer you wait, the worse it gets. I know. Emma asked about you this morning. She wanted to know if you'd visit again. What did you say? That you were busy with work. Can I go see her tonight? You can, but you need to decide what you're doing. Emma's getting attached to you, and I'm confused too. Confused how? Michael, for 5 years I worked in your home, seeing you every day as my boss. Now suddenly you want to be my daughter's father. It's a lot to process. It's hard for me too. The difference is for you, it's a choice. For me, it's always been reality. That afternoon, Michael got an unexpected call. Dr. Thompson, this is Emma's school. Her mother listed you as the emergency contact. Michael's heart raced. What happened? Emma got sick again. She's conscious but asked specifically for us to call you. I'm on my way. When he arrived, he found Emma in the nurse's office, pale but smiling when she saw him. Uncle Michael, I knew you'd come. How are you, sweetheart? Better now that you're here. I told them to call you because you're a doctor. Where's your mom? She was at the store. The principal already called her. Michael checked Emma quickly. Her vitals were stable, but she was clearly weak. Did you eat anything unusual today? No, just my school lunch. How did you sleep last night? Good. I dreamed that you, me, and Mommy went to the park. Was it a good dream? Yes. In the dream, you pushed me on the swing and Mommy laughed a lot. Michael's heart ached. Emma was dreaming of a family she didn't know she could have. Grace arrived breathless minutes later. What happened? She had another weak spell, Michael explained. I think we need to see a specialist. Specialists are expensive. I'll pay. Michael, don't argue with me about this, Grace. It's about her health. In the car on the way to the hospital, Emma asked a question that caught both adults off guard. Uncle Michael, do you like Mom? What do you mean, sweetheart? You two keep looking at each other in a weird way. and you turn red when she talks to you. Grace and Michael exchanged glances in the rearview mirror. Your mom is a very important person to me, Michael answered carefully. Important how? Well, she's worked in my home for a long time. That's it. Emma, don't ask Uncle Michael too many questions, Grace intervened. But I like it when he visits us. Our house feels happier. Really? Yeah. And you smile more when he's there, Mum. Grace looked away without responding. At the hospital, the pediatrician who examined Emma recommended a series of detailed tests. It could be a complication related to spina bifida, but we need to investigate further, the doctor explained. I'll refer you to a pediatric neurology specialist. How long will it take to get an appointment? Grace asked. Through the public system, about 3 months. Privately, I can try for next week. It'll be private, Michael said immediately. Michael, we already talked about this. And I already said I won't argue about her health. Grace was about to protest, but Emma spoke first. Mom, let Uncle Michael help. He's a doctor. He must understand these things. Sweetheart, it's not that simple. Mom, I don't want to keep feeling sick at school. It's embarrassing. The other kids stare at me weirdly. The kids do that? Michael asked, concerned. Sometimes. They say I'm weird because I use a wheelchair and pass out too. And what do you tell them? That I'm not weird. I'm just different, like Mom says. Michael looked at Grace with admiration. She had raised a strong, confident girl despite all the challenges. Emma, you're a very special girl, and anyone who can't see that has a vision problem. Emma laughed. You're funny, Uncle Michael. And you're brave, Emma. Mom always says that. Your mom's right. On their way out of the hospital, Michael insisted on taking them to dinner. You don't have to, Michael. I want to. Besides, it's late, and you don't have anything prepared at home. How do you know? Because you came straight from the store to school. Uncle Michael, you're really smart, Emma remarked. I'm not. I just pay attention to details. They went to a simple restaurant on the way home. During dinner, Emma was livelier than usual. Uncle Michael, can I tell you a secret? Sure. I pretended you were my dad when the teacher asked who was coming to the parent-teacher meeting. Grace nearly choked on her water. Emma, but I didn't lie, Mom. I just said maybe you would, because you're always with us now. Michael felt both happy and guilty. What did the teacher say? That she wants to meet you. Can I tell her you're coming to the next meeting? Emma, Uncle Michael has commitments. I'll go, Michael interrupted. Michael, when's the meeting? Next Friday, Emma answered excitedly. Then next Friday I'll be there. Really? Promise? I promise. Grace was visibly uncomfortable but said nothing in front of Emma. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. After dropping Emma and Grace off at home, Michael drove through the streets of New York City, thinking about how his life had changed in just 2 weeks. He had a daughter, a smart, affectionate girl who was desperate for a father. And there was Grace, the woman he had abandoned, who was now the most important person in his new reality. When he got home, Sarah was watching TV. How was your day? She asked without taking her eyes off the screen. Fine, I had a complicated surgery, but everything went well. The lie came so naturally that Michael was startled at himself. That's good. I spent the whole day thinking about what the doctor said yesterday. Sarah, let's take some time to process this. We don't need to make decisions right now. But I want to. I want us to start the adoption process. Michael froze. Adoption? Yes. If I can't give you a child, let's adopt one. Sarah, adoption is a long and complicated process. I know, but I want to start. I don't want to waste any more time. And what kind of child would you like to adopt? A baby. I want to raise a child from the very beginning. Michael thought of Emma, who was already 8 years old and had special needs. What if the child had a disability? What do you mean? I don't know, some physical or mental limitation. Michael, I want a normal child. I can't have my own kids, at least let it be a healthy one. Sarah's answer felt like a punch to Michael's gut. How could she ever accept Emma, if she wouldn't even consider adopting a child with disabilities. Don't you think those children deserve a family too? Of course they do, but I don't feel prepared to handle special needs. I want a child who can have a normal life. And what is a normal life, Sarah? I don't know why you're questioning me so much. I thought you'd be happy about the idea of adoption. I am. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. We are. I'll start researching adoption agencies tomorrow. That night, Michael couldn't sleep. Sarah was beside him, making plans to adopt a baby, while he had an 8-year-old daughter in a wheelchair he barely knew. The situation was becoming unbearable. The next morning, he arrived early at work to talk to Grace before Sarah woke up. We need to speed things up. Speed what up? I'm going to officially acknowledge Emma. What about your wife? I'll tell her. When? Tonight. Grace stopped making breakfast. Are you sure? Sarah wants to adopt a baby. She said yesterday she doesn't feel ready to handle a child with disabilities. How am I supposed to explain to her that I already have a daughter who uses a wheelchair? Maybe you should rethink this, Michael. What do you mean? If your wife won't even consider adopting a child with disabilities, how will she accept that you have a daughter with spina bifida? I don't know, but I have to try. And if she doesn't accept it, then I'll have to choose. Between your wife and your daughter? Yes. And do you already know what your choice would be? Michael looked Grace in the eyes. I do. That afternoon, while Michael was seeing his patients, Grace got a call from Emma's school. Ms. Grace, Emma had another episode. This time it was more serious. We called an ambulance. Grace dropped everything and rushed to the hospital. She called Michael on the way. Michael, Emma was admitted again. Which hospital? Memorial Hospital. I'm on my way. When they arrived at the hospital, Emma was sedated in the pediatric ICU. What happened? Michael asked the on-duty doctor. She had a seizure followed by loss of consciousness. We're running tests to determine the cause. Grace broke down. Is my daughter going to be okay? We'll do everything we can. The next few hours were the longest of Michael's life. He and Grace took turns by Emma's bedside as she remained sedated. If anything happens to her, Grace murmured, nothing will happen. How can you be so sure? Because she's strong. She got that from you. And from you too. Grace, I need to tell you something. What? I never stopped thinking about you all these years. Michael, let me speak. When I left you, I was scared. Scared of taking responsibility, scared of not being a good father, scared of ruining everything. But all these years I've always wondered what happened to you and the baby. Why did you never look for me? Because I thought you'd be better off without me. I thought you'd move on, find someone better. Did you think that or did you hope for it? Both. Michael, I never forgot you either. When Emma was born and I looked at her little face, I saw you. Every expression, every smile, every tantrum reminded me of you. And did that bother you? At first it did. I was angry at you, but I saw you in her every day. Over time, I learned to separate things. She's her, you're you. And now? Now I'm confused. You showed up in our lives again after 8 years. Emma's getting attached to you and I don't know what to think. What do you feel? Fear. Fear of what? Of you disappearing again. Of Emma getting hurt. Of me getting used to you. And then you deciding it's all too complicated. Michael took Grace's hand. I won't disappear. How can you promise that? Because I love you both. The words came out before Michael could think them through. Grace looked at him surprised. What? I love Emma. And I love you, I always have. Michael. I know it's complicated. I know there's my wife, our history, everything that happened. But I had to say it. You're married. I am. But my marriage ended long before I found out you existed. Sarah and I grew apart over the years. We stayed together more out of habit than love. And you want to leave her? I want to be with you. Michael, you can't make a decision like this in the middle of a crisis. I'm not deciding now, I already had. I'm just telling you. Grace was about to respond when the doctor entered the room. Emma's waking up. The two of them moved closer to the bed. Emma slowly opened her eyes. Mom? Uncle Michael? We're here, sweetheart. What happened to me? You got sick at school, but you're better now. Why do I have all these wires stuck to me? Michael patiently explained the monitoring equipment. Will I be okay? Yes, honey. But you'll have to stay here a few days so the doctors can run more tests. Will you stay with me? We will, Michael answered without hesitation. What about your wife? Grace whispered. I'll handle it. That night, Michael called Sarah. Sarah, I'm staying at the hospital tonight. I have a critical patient. Again? You've been spending so much time at the hospital lately. It's a complicated situation. Fine, but tomorrow I want to talk about the adoption. Of course. Michael hung up, feeling terrible for lying to his wife, but he didn't know how to explain the situation. During the night, Emma woke up several times. Each time she opened her eyes, she looked for Michael and Grace. Are you still here? We are. Good. I don't like being alone in the hospital. You'll never be alone, Emma, Michael said. I promise. Forever? Forever. Even when I grow up and get old like Grandma Margaret? Even then? What if I never walk? It doesn't matter. You're perfect just the way you are. Brittany's dad said kids like me are God's punishment. Michael felt anger rise. Who's Brittany? A girl from school. When she told her dad I use a wheelchair, he said that. Emma, look at me, Michael said firmly. Ignorant people say ignorant things. You're not a punishment. You're a blessing. Really? Yes. And anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Uncle Michael is really nice, right, Mom? Yes, sweetheart. Mom, can I say something without you guys getting mad? Go ahead. I wish Uncle Michael was my real dad. The silence that followed was heavy. Emma looked between the two adults. Did I say something wrong? No, honey. You didn't say anything wrong, Grace answered, her voice trembling. It's just that I really like him. And he likes me too, right, Uncle Michael? I like you very much, Emma, more than you can imagine. Then why can't you be my dad? Michael looked at Grace, who gave him an almost imperceptible nod. Emma, there's something your mom and I need to tell you. What? Do you remember how you always asked about your father? I remember. Mom always said he lived far away. Yes, but now he doesn't live far away anymore. What do you mean? Michael took a deep breath. Emma, I'm your father. The girl stared at him, not fully understanding. You're my real dad. I am. But why were you far away? Because I was very young when you were born and didn't know how to be a good dad. So I left. And now you know? I'm still learning, but I really want to try. So you're my dad, Emma beamed. I knew it. That's why you have the same eyes as me. Michael held his daughter's small hand. That's exactly why. And that's why I like you so much. It's because you're my dad and I didn't know. Maybe so. Mom, why didn't you tell me before? Because I wanted to be sure your dad was ready to be your real dad. And now he is? Now he is. That's great. Tomorrow I can tell my teacher that my dad is really coming to the meeting. Michael laughed through his tears. Yes, I am, sweetheart. Sweetheart? You called me sweetheart. Say it again. Sweetheart. I like it. Say it more. My dear sweetheart. My beautiful sweetheart. My daughter. Emma clapped her hands, more excited than she'd been in days. Now I have a mom and a dad. We're a family. Emma's innocent joy contrasted with the complexity of the adult's situation. Michael knew there was still a lot to resolve, starting with the conversation with Sarah. Dad, are you going to live with us now? Not yet, sweetheart. There are some things I need to take care of first. What kind of things? Grown-up things. Oh, but will you fix them soon? I'll try. Okay, but don't take too long. I waited 8 years to meet you. I don't want to wait another 8 for you to live with us. Michael looked at Grace, who was moved by the interaction between father and daughter. It won't take another 8 years, I promise. In the following days, while Emma recovered in the hospital, Michael and Grace talked about the future. Tests had revealed that her episodes of weakness and seizures were side effects of a medication she was taking. With a change in medication, Emma would improve significantly. She'll be able to live a completely normal life, the neurologist explained. She'll still use a wheelchair because of her spina bifida, but she won't have these episodes anymore. So it's nothing serious? Grace asked, relieved. No, it was just a reaction to the medication. With the right adjustment, she'll be much better. In the room, Emma was impatient to go home. Dad, when am I getting out of here? Tomorrow, sweetheart. Great. I want to go home and tell all the neighbors I found my dad. Emma, maybe it's better if we don't tell everyone just yet. Why? Because there are still some things your dad needs to take care of. Oh, the grown-up things. That's right. Okay, but can I tell Grandma Margaret? Yes. And Uncle Robert? That's fine too. And Mrs. Cathy from the apartment next door? Better not. Why? Because Mrs. Cathy loves to gossip. Emma laughed. That's true. She tells everything to everyone. That night, Michael went home determined to tell Sarah everything. He found her in the living room, surrounded by papers and forms. What's all this? Adoption forms. I got a lot of information today. We can start the process next week. Sarah, we need to talk. About the adoption? Great. What's your preference, boy or girl? It's not about adoption. Something in Michael's tone made Sarah stop what she was doing. What is it? Sarah, do you remember that years ago I had a relationship before we met? You had several relationships. Which one? A specific one, in Tampa. That blonde girl? Jennifer something? Yeah, Jennifer Davis. What about her? Sarah, she got pregnant. What do you mean she got pregnant? When we broke up, she was pregnant. Sarah slowly stood up. And you never told me this. I didn't know. How could you not know? You broke up with her while she was pregnant, and I left her pregnant. The silence that followed was deafening. And the baby was born. It's a girl. She's 8. 8 years. Sarah, you have an 8-year-old daughter. I do. And where is she? Here, in New York City. What do you mean here? Sarah, Grace, our housekeeper. She's Jennifer. Sarah sank into the armchair. Our housekeeper is the mother of your child. Yes. And you knew this? No. I found out 2 weeks ago when I returned the phone she forgot. 2 weeks. Sarah, I wanted to tell you sooner, but what? But you thought it was better to let me make plans to adopt a baby while you already have a daughter? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? I was trying to process the situation, trying to figure out what to do. And have you figured it out? Michael took a deep breath. Yes. And what have you decided? That I'll publicly acknowledge paternity. I'll give her my last name. I'll be the father I should have been from the start. And me? What's my role in this beautiful family story? Sarah, you want to separate? I do. Because of them. Because of me. Because I realized I can't live pretending they don't exist. Sarah began to cry. 6 years of marriage, Michael. 6 years trying to have a child with you. And you've had a daughter all this time. I didn't know. But now you do, and you chose them. I chose to be honest. With me, with myself. Sarah got up and went to the bedroom. Michael followed her. Sarah, we can talk about this. What's there to talk about? You have a family. I'm not part of it. You could... Emma is a special child. I'm sure you'd get along. Emma, my daughter. Your daughter has a name. She does. Emma. And does she know you're her father? She does now. How did she react? She was happy. And the mother? Her too. Good for you. Sarah started pulling clothes from the closet. What are you doing? Packing my things. You're leaving? I'm going to my sister's. I need to think. Sarah, it doesn't have to be like this. Yes, it does, Michael. It absolutely does. We can try... Try what? To be a happy family. You, me, your daughter in a wheelchair, and the ex-lover who works in our home? Grace isn't an ex-lover. Then what is she? Michael paused to think. She's the mother of my child. And what else? I don't know yet. But you know you want to find out. I do. Then we have nothing left to talk about. Sarah finished packing a bag and headed for the door. Sarah, don't you want to meet Emma? Why? Because she's an amazing girl. I'm sure she is, but she's not my daughter, Michael. She's yours and Grace's. She could be ours too. No, she couldn't, because I spent 6 years dreaming of being the mother of your child. I won't be the stepmother to your daughter with another woman. Sarah, call me when you figure out how you want to divide things. And Sarah left, leaving Michael alone in the house that had been their home for 6 years. The next morning, when Grace arrived for work, she found the house empty and a letter on the kitchen table. Grace, Sarah found out about everything and left. I'm at the hospital with Emma. Come when you can. Michael. Grace sat in the kitchen where she had worked for 5 years and cried. She cried for the pain they knew they would cause, for the end of Michael's marriage, for the uncertainty of the future. When she arrived at the hospital, she found Michael and Emma playing checkers in the room. Mommy, Emma smiled. Daddy's losing to me. Is that so? Yeah, he's not very good at this game. I'll have to practice more, Michael said, looking at Grace with a tired expression. Mommy, Daddy said I'm leaving the hospital today. That's great, sweetheart. And he said he can take us home. Emma, go wash your hands in the bathroom for snack time. When they were alone, Grace approached Michael. How did it go? As expected. She didn't accept it. I'm sorry. Me too. But I don't regret it. And now? Now we're going home. All 3 of us. Michael. Grace, I know it's complicated. I know everything changed very fast. But I want to try to build a family with you. What if it doesn't work out? It will. It has to. And your job? Your social life? Your friends? Will they accept a housekeeper and a child with disabilities in your life? If they don't, they're not people I want in my life. Michael, are you sure about what you're doing? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Emma returned from the bathroom, interrupting the conversation. Can I have my snack now? Yes, sweetheart. Daddy, when I leave here, are you going to live with us? Michael looked at Grace. Can I? Actually, I was thinking, maybe the 2 of you should move into my house. What do you mean? The house is big. There's a room on the 1st floor that would be perfect for Emma. And, well, it would be easier for all of us. Michael, are you sure? I am. Besides, you won't have to pay rent anymore. And Emma will have space to play in the backyard. Really? I get to live in your house? Emma asked excitedly. Our house, Michael corrected. It'll be our house. Our family, our house, our life. Emma's pure joy was contagious. For the first time in weeks, Michael felt truly happy. A week later, Grace and Emma moved into Michael's house. The adjustment wasn't easy at first. Grace felt out of place in the role of the lady of the house, where she had once been the housekeeper. Michael had to get used to the schedule and needs of a child, and Emma had to adapt to a much bigger space than she was used to. Daddy, can I paint my room? Of course. What color do you want? Pink with gold stars. Then let's go to the mall to buy pink paint and gold stars. Really? Really. And can I pick out new furniture too? You can pick out whatever you want. Grace watched the interactions between father and daughter with a mix of joy and apprehension. Michael was trying his best to be the best father possible, but she knew raising a child wasn't just about buying things and indulging wishes. Michael, we need to talk. What's wrong? About Emma. You can't give in to every one of her wishes. Why not? Because children need boundaries. Grace, I missed 8 years of her life. I want to make up for it. By spoiling her? By giving her everything I couldn't before. That's not healthy. What do you want me to do? Be a father, not a rich uncle who shows up to spoil her. Michael realized Grace was right. He was trying to make up for his absence with gifts and permissiveness. How do I become a real father? By being present, setting boundaries, teaching responsibility, sharing household chores with her. Household chores? Michael, Emma may use a wheelchair, but she's perfectly capable of helping around the house. She always did. What kind of things did she do? She folded her own clothes, organized her toys, helped set the table. Age-appropriate things. And here you do everything for her. Because I want her to feel welcome. She already does. Now she needs to feel like a real part of the family, and that includes responsibilities. That evening during dinner, Michael talked to Emma. "Sweetheart, starting tomorrow you'll help with some chores around the house." "What kind of chores?" "Tidy your room, help set the table, things like that." "Okay. At Mom's apartment I always helped." "And why did you stop helping here?" "Because you said I didn't have to." "Well, now you do. We're a family, and in a family, everyone helps." "Cool. Can I help cook too?" "You can. Your mom can teach you." "Mom makes the best chocolate cake in the world." "Really?" "Yeah, you've never had it." "Never." "Mom, make your chocolate cake for Dad. I can make it this weekend." "Great, Dad, you're gonna love it." In the months that followed, they built a family routine. Michael learned about the special care Emma needed, about physical therapy, about medications. Grace got used to being treated as the lady of the house and not as a maid, and Emma flourished, finally having a complete family. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Of course, sweetheart." "Why did it take you so long to find me?" It was a question Michael knew would come one day. "Because I was a coward." "What do you mean?" "When I found out your mom was pregnant, I got scared. Scared I wouldn't be a good father. Scared I couldn't take care of you both." "And now you're not scared anymore?" "I am. But now I know fear isn't an excuse to run away." "What if you run away again?" "I won't." "How do you know?" "Because now I understand you're the most important thing in my life." "More important than your job?" "Much more important." "More important than your friends?" "Much more important." "More important than your favorite food?" Michael laughed. "Much more important than my favorite food." "Good. Because I don't want you to ever leave again." "Never again, sweetheart, I promise." 6 months after moving in together, Michael received the divorce papers from Sarah. She had met someone else and wanted to start over. "How do you feel?" Grace asked. "Relieved. And you?" "Guilty." "Why?" "Because I ruined a marriage." "Grace, you didn't ruin anything. My marriage to Sarah was over long before. You just gave me the courage to admit it." "But what if you regret it?" "The divorce?" "Everything. Us." Michael stopped what he was doing and looked at Grace. "Grace, can I ask you something?" "Go ahead." "Do you love me?" "Michael, it's a simple question. Do you love me?" "I do." "Since when?" "Always. Even when I hated you, I still loved you." "Then why are you afraid?" "Because love doesn't guarantee things will work out. Nothing guarantees things will work out, but we can try to make it work. And if we fail, then we try again." "And if it still doesn't work?" "Grace, you're looking for problems where there aren't any. I'm being realistic. You're being pessimistic." "Maybe." "Grace, look at our daughter." They turned to the backyard, where Emma was playing in the new wheelchair Michael had bought her. "She's happy." "She is. We're happy." "We are. So why are you trying to invent problems?" "Because I'm scared of losing all this." "You only lose it if you give up." "And you? Aren't you scared?" "I am. But I'm more scared of losing you both than of trying and failing." That night, Michael made official what was already happening in practice. He asked Grace to marry him. "Grace, will you marry me?" "What do you mean?" "Do you want to be my wife officially?" "Michael, we're already a family. We just need the paperwork." "But what if it doesn't work out?" "Grace, stop asking what if it doesn't work out. Ask, what if it does?" "What if it does? Then we'll be happy forever." "Forever is a long time." "Then let's be happy for now." Grace laughed. "All right, I'll marry you." "Really? Really?" "Emma," Michael called to the backyard. "Come here." What is it, Dad? Your mum agreed to marry me. Really? You're getting married? Yes. That's great. Can I be the maid of honor? Of course. And can I pick my dress? You can pick whatever you want. And can I invite all my friends from school? Sure. Will Grandma Margaret and Uncle Robert come? They will. That's wonderful. It'll be the most beautiful wedding ever. And it was. 3 months later, Michael and Grace had a simple but touching ceremony. Emma was the maid of honor, as she'd asked. Margaret, Grace's mother, finally met her son-in-law. Robert, Grace's brother, served as the best man, and all of Emma's school friends were there. Dad, are we a real family now? We've always been a real family, sweetheart. Now we just have the papers to prove it. Cool. Can I keep a wedding photo in my room? You can keep as many as you want. A year after the wedding, Michael received an unusual job offer. A hospital was starting a specialized care program for children with disabilities and wanted him to lead the project. It's a unique opportunity, he explained to Grace. I'd be working specifically with kids like Emma. And you want to take it? I do. After everything I've learned with Emma, I think I can help other families. Then take it. Are you sure? Yes, I think it'd be perfect for you. The new job brought Michael a professional fulfillment he'd never felt before. Working with special needs children and their families made him appreciate his own even more. How was work today? Grace asked every night. Amazing. Today I met a family who just found out their son has spina bifida. I calmed them down by showing videos of Emma. She'd love to hear that. I already told her. She was proud to help other families. Our daughter really is special. Our daughter is perfect. On Emma's 10th birthday, they threw a big party in their backyard. All her school friends were there, along with Michael and Grace's co-workers. Dad, can I make a speech? Of course, sweetheart. Emma stood in front of all the guests. Hey everyone, I want to thank you all for coming to my party, and I want to tell you something. Up until 2 years ago, I didn't have a dad. But one day, my dad showed up at our house to return a phone my mum forgot, and our lives changed forever. The adults smiled, some knew the story. Now I have a dad, a mum, a beautiful home, and a complete family. And you know what I've learned? Sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them. And that real love doesn't need an explanation, she continued. My dad loves me, my mum loves me, and I love them. That's all that matters. So I want to make a toast with soda, because I'm still a kid. Everyone laughed. A toast to our family, and to all families that come together in different ways. Everyone applauded. Michael and Grace were moved. Our daughter's going to be a great speaker, Michael whispered to Grace. She got that from you. No, she got her wisdom from you. Later, after all the guests had left, the family gathered in the living room. That was the best party of my life, Emma declared. And that was just the beginning, Michael said. We'll still have many parties, many celebrations, many happy moments. Forever? Forever. What if a problem comes up? Then we'll solve it together. The three of us? The three of us. That's good. Because I like when we fix things together. We do too, sweetheart. That night after Emma went to sleep, Michael and Grace talked on the balcony. Do you regret anything? Grace asked. Taking so long to find you. But you don't regret leaving me back then. I regret how I acted, but if things had been different, maybe we wouldn't have gotten here. How so? If I'd taken responsibility back then, maybe we wouldn't appreciate what we have now as much. You think so? I do. Sometimes you need to lose something to understand its worth. And do you understand its worth now? I understand that you two are everything to me. Even with all the challenges? Especially because of the challenges. What challenges? Raising a special child, dealing with prejudices, building an unconventional family. You think our family is unconventional. I think our family is perfect. Unconventional but perfect. For me too. Grace, can I tell you a secret? Go ahead. I've never been happier in my life. Me neither. Not even when Emma was a baby. Not even, because back then I was alone and scared. Now I'm whole. I'm whole too. Michael, Yeah? Thank you. For what? For coming back, for staying, for choosing us. Thank you. For what? For forgiving me a second chance, for raising Emma alone and doing an amazing job. We did a good job together too. We did, and we'll keep doing it. Forever? Forever? 2 years later, Michael got an unexpected call. Dr. Michael, this is the health department. We'd like to invite you to coordinate a statewide program for children with disabilities. A statewide program? Yes. Your work at the hospital has drawn attention. We want to expand the model across the state. That would be incredible. Do you accept? I need to talk to my family. Of course. What's the deadline? End of next week. That night at dinner, Michael shared the offer. Does that mean you'll travel a lot? Emma asked. It means I'll work to help kids like you all over New York City. Cool. Can I help? How do you want to help? I can give talks, tell other kids how great it is to have a family that loves you. You do that? Of course. I'm an expert on the subject. Michael looked at Grace. What do you think? I think you should take it. Even knowing I'll be away more? Michael, this work is important, and besides, you'll be helping families like ours. Then I'll accept. You really will? I will. That's great. Daddy's gonna be famous, Emma cheered. I won't be famous, sweetheart. Yes, you will. You'll be the most famous doctor who helps special kids. If you say so. I do. And I'm always right. Not always. Always. Ask Mom. Grace, is our daughter always right? Always. Then it's settled. I'll accept the offer, and Emma will help by giving talks. Really, I'll really give talks. You will. That's great. I already know what I'll say. What? That family doesn't have to be like everyone else's. That love is more important than perfection, and that it's always worth waiting for the right people. Michael and Grace exchanged glances, moved by their daughter's wisdom. Our daughter is very wise. She is, and she'll help so many families. Just like you helped me. How so? You taught me that being different doesn't mean being less. That having limitations doesn't make you worth less, and that true love accepts everything. Who taught you that? You did. By living. That night, after Emma fell asleep, Michael and Grace realized how far they'd come. Remember when you showed up at the door of the apartment with your phone? I do. It feels like yesterday, and like a whole lifetime ago. It was a whole lifetime, the life that started that day. Grace, do you think it was always destiny for us to be together? I don't know if it was destiny, but I know it was a choice. A choice? You chose to stay. I chose to trust. Emma chose to love. And those choices built our family. And you don't regret your choices? Never. And you? My only regret is not making those choices sooner. But then maybe they wouldn't have been the right choices. Why? Because you weren't ready before. Before, I hadn't grown enough. Before Emma didn't exist. So it happened at the right time. It happened when it was meant to happen. And now we live. Fully, gratefully, lovingly. Lovingly isn't a word. It should be. It should. 3 years later, Michael had become a national reference in caring for children with disabilities. Emma, now 13, really did give talks alongside him, sharing her story and inspiring other families. Dad, today a mum thanked me. Why? Because after hearing me, she understood her son wasn't a burden. And what did you say? That I was never a burden to you. That I've always been a blessing. And it's true. I know, and now she knows too. Emma, are you proud of the work we do? I am. I think it's the most important thing in the world. Why? Because we're changing how people think about kids like me. And how do you want them to think? That we're equal. Different, but equal. Explain that. Different in body, but equal in heart. Different in limitations, but equal in dreams. Different in challenges, but equal in the right to be loved. Our daughter's a philosopher. I'm just a girl who thinks, and what else do you think? That I'm really lucky. Why? Because I have the best parents in the world. Even though I abandoned you when you were a baby? Dad, you didn't abandon me. You were lost. Then you found yourself and found me too. How do you know that? Because you're here now, and that's what matters. That night, Michael got a call from the Federal Health Agency. Dr. Michael, we'd like to invite you to lead a national program. National? Yes. Based on the success of the state program, we want to expand it nationwide. That's unbelievable. Do you accept? I need to talk to my family. Of course. What's your deadline? A week. During dinner, Michael shared the new proposal. Daddy's going to work all over the country? Emma asked excitedly. If you both agree. I agree, more kids will get help. And you, Grace? I agree too. But I have one condition. What? That Emma and I can travel with you sometimes. We want to be part of this work. Really? Really? Emma gives better talks than you. It's true, Emma laughed. I'm funnier. Then it's decided. We'll work together. All three of us? All three. Yay! Our family's going to help the whole country. We'll try. We'll succeed, I'm sure of it. How can you be so sure? Because when you work with love, it always works out. Who taught you that? You did. By loving me. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of this story and where you're watching from. If you have something to share with us, leave a sincere comment. Do you believe Michael made the right choice in embracing fatherhood and rebuilding his family? We'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to leave your like and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other heartwarming stories.